Hello there, I am Parker, aka ParkerGames or Mineplex Official or Jeffrey, I don't know, call me whatever you want to. And I just hit 200,000 subscribers thanks to you guys. I asked you guys on Twitter what you wanted to see as a thank you, and you said this, so here we go! I was born just like every other baby, from an alien coming down to Earth to give you... I never was taught where babies come from, so... I was spawned from the aliens 19 years ago in a little place called Eden. Not the garden, but the small town in North Carolina. I never actually lived in North Carolina, but apparently my mom liked the hospitals there more than where we lived in Virginia, so... We moved around a few times until my dad was offered a job in Texas as a pastor in a church, and this is where it gets controversial. Religion has always been a big part of my life, but don't let that stop you from watching this video. I'm just telling you how I lived my life, not how to live yours, so... With that being said, please no hate comments, I love you. We moved to the very hot, very dry South Texas when I was 4 years old, so I don't really remember living anywhere else. And dude, it's hot. It's freaking hot here, dude. It's like boiling. It's like boiling. It's like boiling. It's so hot. Growing up was fairly simple. My mom homeschooled me and my two older sisters for a while until I begged them to send me to school. I know it sounds weird, but being a social kid and being homeschooled, it sucks. I always liked the idea of being in an actual school until I went there. I changed my mind very, very quickly. My parents enrolled me in a private Christian school near where we lived that a few of my friends went to. The workload there was absolutely insane, but I managed to save some time for a few things that I enjoy, which was acting and video games. I'd been in a few plays like in my church and my local theater, but nothing like this. My 6th grade year is where I met a man named Dr. Liebert, probably my favorite person to this day. Dr. Liebert is a crazy awesome dude and probably my biggest role model growing up. Just kind of taught me that I could be myself and that I could be crazy and not have to worry about what people think about me, and he's like the reason why I'm okay with being who I am, so thank him for my crazy videos. Dr. Liebert wanted to be an actor all his life but never thought he'd make it, so he became a doctor instead. He also invented Dr. Pepper. I also just made that up. 6th grade at my school was the time you could finally audition for speaking roles for the plays, and I was pumped. Ever since I was a little kid, I've always wanted to be an actor. I remember when I was 7, I would knock on the front door of my home, and when my mom would answer, I would come out and I would be a different character. I'd like have an accent, and I'd be like, oh, I want to come sell you something, or I'd have all these crazy characters in mind. And there's probably footage of that somewhere. I don't want to find it. Well, I got the role in the play that Dr. Liebert was directing, and we became very close friends, and he really pushed me to pursue acting as a career, but at the time, I thought of it more as a hobby. We worked closely every year until the end of 8th grade when I had to move off to high school. High school was different. Going from a small private Christian school to a huge public high school is definitely a shock. I didn't really hit my growth spurt till I was in my sophomore year, so this little 5'5" freshman kid going into an actual school for the first time, I didn't really know what to do. I've always loved being funny and making people laugh, and it was weird at the school. You know, the humor was different, and I was a little freshman kid, and I didn't know anyone, and it was really weird for me. I went to a very sketchy high school, and I was surrounded by drugs and alcohol and gangs for the first time ever, and I felt out of place. So I went to the thing I could always count on. Acting. I auditioned for the theater department and had a few very embarrassing roles. Meow. I was told by my friends I should pursue acting as a career, but I had no idea how to make it a reality. Probably around the middle of my sophomore year, or grade 10 for you non-United Statesers, I got an email from a friend who said they heard about this acting convention on the radio near Dallas. I had nothing to lose, so I was like, you know what, let's do it. So my mom and I drove up to Dallas, which is close by, to this convention thing with monologue in hand to see if I had a shot. Growing up in a town of not many actors, I wasn't sure if I really had what it takes, but I mean, I'd been told all my life that I was pretty good, but I mean, how much can you trust your mom? You can't. She's evil. We arrived at this convention and I gave it my best shot, not really expecting anything, but I got in. They told me I had potential in the business, and so that was awesome to hear. You know, hearing that from someone not your mom, you know? So from there they told me about what was to come, about this like big convention thing that you could showcase your talents in front of these agents and managers in Florida. After a few months of preparation and training, it was time for the convention. We would stand in this very long line of actors that also had future potential, and waited for our turn to perform our monologue, and so we had lots of time to converse with each other. I was numbered 156, and there was a lady behind me numbered 157, and she was very nice, and we talked about acting and future plans and the casual, like, inline conversation. Little did I know she'd be the woman that I married. Just kidding. We got along so well, she wanted to introduce me to her husband, which was a beautiful man you all know as Johnny Lopes, but to me was just Jonathan. We all got along really well and hung out during the whole convention, and I told them about my plans, about LA stuff, and they told me about their plans of LA, and so they invited me to live with them in LA for a short time. Of course, I said, heck no, but they begged me, so, you know, I had to say yes. After all the monologues were done, the agents and managers would send callbacks to the people who they wanted to see further. I was so nervous, I just wanted to get at least one one callback. That's all I needed. Each of us got these sheets of paper with our names on it, and this was it. This was my ticket into acting. I turn over the paper and see the number. 21 callbacks. This was mind-blowing. I didn't know what to, I was speechless. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to say. I met with as many as I could during that short time, and I signed with an agent and a manager that I still work with today. LA, here I come! Moving to LA was pretty crazy for me. I was still in high school and I never really moved out of my hometown, so it was a pretty big step. I worked hard that year and I graduated high school early, and my mom and I set out for LA. We basically hopped from hotel to hotel for about a month looking for an apartment. It's crazy. Oh, it's crazy how expensive apartments in LA are. We finally found a place that was in our budget range. It was basically a lady's garage that she made into a one-bedroom home. And even then, it was insanely expensive. I've always had a great relationship with my mom, but being in one bedroom with your mother for 3 months can be quite trying. After getting settled, I finally had my first audition, and it was a big one. I was auditioning for a movie, like a real movie. I must have practiced those lines a million times. I knew them by heart. Audition time came, and we pulled up on this huge building. Almost bigger than my forehead. I was so nervous I just kind of paced back and forth in the waiting room, and finally my time came. The audition went well, but I didn't get a call for a week, so that pretty much means no. I just kind of carried on with my life until I finally got a call in Starbucks. I got the part. I screamed so loud the lady next to me spilled her coffee. This was my dream. I got to play the main character's brother in the film. It wasn't a horror movie, but it was kind of like a suspense kind of thriller movie. And I had several scenes. My favorite part of the whole movie was I got to stab somebody, and that was awesome. I mean, how many people can say they got to stab somebody? Sadly, the movie never made it to theaters, but it was picked up by Lifetime, which is a TV station, and it still plays every now and then. It's kind of awesome. Eventually, my mom went back home, and I moved in with Johnny Lopes. The acting scene was slowing down a little bit, and we grew pretty bored, and so we spent most of our time playing games. I would play RuneScape for most of my time. That was my game I loved to play, and one day I was like, dude, I should film this for the interwebs, and that is how my YouTube career started growing gaming-wise. I didn't really have that big of a following, and in fact, I think I hit my first year doing that gaming channel, I think I hit 100 subs, so it's kind of crazy how far we've come. John and I love to play games, and we're looking for something to play together, because we're next to each other, but we never really play together, we just play games separately, so we're looking for like an indie game to play together, and so we found this game called, what is it called? Minecraft, I think? Yeah, that's it. I showed it to Jonathan, and before long, we were hooked. We did nothing but build our world for probably a month straight. Yeah, we were hooked. John did code stuff for his job at the time, and so he started messing around with the code in Minecraft and started working with a server. I had been in LA for about a year, and money was running out, and roles were slowing down, and I didn't really have a YouTube as a job back then, so it kind of forced me to move back to Texas. That was really hard for me. I mean, I felt like I failed my dream. I was home for around 2 years going to school at a community college for digital media design, and doing some videos on the side. It was then I randomly got a message from John. Yo, we're looking for YouTubers, man. You want to do it? Of course, I was like, heck no! But then he begged me, so I said yes. And this became Mineplex Official! We started the channel almost exactly a year ago, depending on when I upload this. My official date that I made the channel was December 1st, and my official first upload was December 9th. And it's been a crazy, awesome, amazing, incredible year. YouTube has become my hobby, but it also has become my job, and I finally have enough money to make it back to LA and continue where I left off, and that's really all thanks to you guys. I really do thank you guys so much for everything over this year. We just hit 200,000 subscribers, and I couldn't have done it without you. I plan to continue doing YouTube as long as I possibly can. You guys will always be a huge part of my life, and you guys are the reason why I can continue my acting dream, so sincerely, thank you. Well, without further ado, my name is Parker, and this has been my life.